I am the back-end handyman. I fix things as cheap as I can, which is often all by myself. I am not a professional. May not be done the right way, but it's done my way. I assume no responsibility if you attempt the same thing and damage anything. Alright, here we are again. Now we gotta fix these fucking spark plugs since they're all fucked up now. Changing the plug wires. So, and of course, the fucking metal thing. I gotta rip the metal thing off each and every one of them, or else I ain't gonna be able to get my spark plug off because my wrench, my socket won't go into the damn spark plug thingy. Alright, I got all the little pieces off of them, and I got my first one out. You want to check your spark plugs to make sure that they are not wet and real oily, because if they're wet and real oily, that means that it's not firing right for some reason. This is a good looking plug to me. And you just take them out, and I'll have to look and see what the difference is. I went to Napa to get mine, since this is a issue that I don't want to wait for stuff in the mail. And I got these NGK G-Powers. That's all they had for this car. And, you know, I spent about $91 for plugs and plug wires from the parts store. If you have time, there's a lot cheaper ways to go online and buy parts for this. But, you know, when you buy online, one of the problems with buying your parts online is sometimes they'll send you the wrong part, or sometimes if you're not looking at the part when you buy the part, there's something about the part that makes it to where it won't work. So you always want to at least have the part out, looking at it, making sure that it's the exact same part before you order it online, because if it's the wrong part, you got to ship it back and wait for it to come in. Now, if I was to do this online and buy these parts, like these spark plug cables, they would have been about 30 bucks. Not the Napa kind. They would have probably been a cheap generic kind. I don't know if the Napa kind's a fucking expensive kind or not, but they sure are when I pay for them. And then, you know, you can get some cheaper spark plugs than that. Instead of paying the whole fucking $100 just for plugs and wires, you can do that. Alright, just to show you what I was talking about on the gapping. These should be pre-gapped, but for a 2005, when I look online, it says in between 0.40 and 0.50. So it should be gapped right there. Oh, look at that. It's all the way up 60. So you just push it in a little bit. Just a little bit. And now, okay, it's 0.04. So it's 40 hundredths. Fuck, I ain't good at this math stuff. I just know that online it says 0.04 to 0.05, so this will work. Before it was over here. Now we got it. And if you have it boosted, it says on boosted you do in between 30 and 40, but we're not boosted. We're just driving a regular car, dude. So I'll go ahead and get all these plugs put in on this side, and then we'll talk about the wires for a second. Right. Torque spec on these is 25 foot-pounds. I got my Cobalt. I have a name brand one of these. Man. Be careful not to break this plastic thing off when you do it. And this one does that click too. You put it on what you need. Like that right there is only 2. We're supposed to get 25. So there we go. That spark plug is tight enough. I'll put the other ones on with the right gaps, and then we'll do the wires. Alright, now for the plug wires. Usually when you're doing the plug wires, you're wanting to do them one at a time so you don't get them mixed up. But since I already took my plug wires off, I numbered them. Now this is not the firing order. This is just 1, 2, 3. You know, I got my 1 right there. It goes on this spark plug. I just numbered that because I go 1, 2, 3. Now, the actual firing order is different, and I'm not sure, but I don't need to know the firing order as long as I put them back on the way they came off. So that's the main important thing. You number your spark plug wires, you take them off, and I mean, you can sit there and look at them as you're doing it and make sure that you're doing it right. To take these things off, you just stick your little screwdriver in right there and it'll pry it open. Okay, now from the looks of it, it looks like the furthest one over there goes to the back cylinder over here. The middle one over there on the back goes to this middle cylinder right here. And the closest one to this side goes to the front cylinder, number 1. So, take these off, you just, pretty easy, just scrunch them, pull. And then you just bring your spark plug cable over here, and we find the one that is pretty much the same length. I like to have all the new ones laid out in order. So, which I think this is going to be the longest one. Looks pretty damn close to me. I'll feel and I'll make sure that they're right. If you don't want to get one off, yeah, that'll work. Okay. And then you just poop, put it over there, clamp it down, click. Come on. There we go. And then we go like this through that thing. And then you put, which this one here is on the front. They really stick on there too. I gotta put this down so I can do it. Alright, I just wanted to update you. I've already taken the plugs out on this side and all that, so I could and changed them. But a couple pointers. This front spark plug, go ahead and take this bolt loose from this thing. It screws in right there. And then you can pull this out, and it's a hell of a lot easier to get to. The spark plug wires, it looks like we got one, the closest one here to the front there. 3, which is the middle one to the back one. And then we got 2, which is that furthest one to the middle one. So I'll change all these spark plug wires out. Alright, and that's that. Got all the plug wires in and the plugs. Put the air filter back on. So it looks like after it's done, I even put the negative cable back on. Of course, you want to take off the battery connection anytime you mess with it, and I was messed with the alternator, so let's see how she runs. Still sounds like shit, but sounds like it runs pretty damn good. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. That way I could get paid for doing this shit.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to help support the channel, check out the links in the description. They are my recommended items, as well as some of the things in the video. If you purchase through the provided links, a small portion of that goes back to me. Like, subscribe, and share.